Hi Genesis Service Team. Welcome to week 8 of our topic and challenge video series. This week we are talking about some takeaways from the article I sent you last week. And if you haven't watched any of the other previous weeks of videos, I encourage you to go back and get caught up. So this week, if you need a little refresher, the article was on 6 attributes of superstar service consultants. 1 was they're never satisfied. 2, they know their numbers don't lie. 3, they embrace the law of a slight edge. 4, they're control freaks. 5, they investigate issues like a detective. And 6, they make maintenance fun. So, let's talk about some of the takeaways discussed in the article. The never satisfied and the control freaks is really all put together in one of they're on top of their game. They're a true professional and they are committed to continued success. So one of the things I asked you last week was to, as a challenge, read them and answer for yourself where do you fall in line, and answer it honestly with where you may need some extra boost or where you're doing pretty good. The one I really want to focus on is the numbers don't lie. If we're going to relate this back to sports has got a ton of analytics, right? And analytics have entered the game of football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, in recent memory, more so than they ever have, because there's more access to data points. And athletes know their data points. They know how they're measured. Same thing goes for you as a service advisor. Do you know your numbers? What it takes to, if you are number 1, to stay number 1. Or if you're anywhere below number 1, what do you have to do to be that top person? Know the numbers and how you get there. Having that slight edge. What makes you different? What makes you unique? One of the things that is valued by your customers is that they value the relationship they have with you. Are you somebody they can trust? And when you do recommend that they need to replace those shocks on their vehicle, do they think it's just because you're trying to upsell them, or that you are offering them something that's of truly value to them and their vehicle and their situation? They leave nothing to chance also goes with the control freaks. They're on top of their game. They're not leaving anything to chance, and they are observing everything around them at all times. And then you got to be part of that, an investigative person, where you can investigate like a detective. Be curious. Ask questions of your customers. Dive into the conversation. We've talked about the pet the dog walk around, where you get to know the vehicle. Ask questions about their car, especially if they've done aftermarket upgrades or performance or anything like that. People like talking about those sorts of things. So investigate things about the car or around the car or from the customer, things that they're wearing. It's a big week for the Detroit Lions. If they're wearing Detroit Lions gear, let's talk about the game coming up. That way you can build a relationship with them. So you got to make the small things fun. Maintenance, it's just one thing that has to be done on a vehicle. Nobody likes having maintenance done. But if we can make it fun and make it something to where, this is something that I recommend that you do based off the maintenance we did, is actually this is some preventative work that can be done. And I'm glad you came in here for that maintenance visit because we found this out. Think of it just like a doctor's office. Nobody likes going in for a physical, but sometimes that's the starting point to be able to find other things along the way, right? And it can be very preventative in that manner. So these are some of the attributes that make a superstar service advisor. I encourage you today, ask yourself, which ones are you lacking? Which ones are you strong in? And let's bring them all up. And that way you and your department can be operating at the highest level. I'll see you next week.